Hello, this is the Silver Watchman, and welcome back to, oh gosh. Well, there went that energy. BeanQuest Episode III. Now, in a previous episode, we talked about, unclean foods, and I finished off with don't eat human. Sorry. I'm a little bit out of breath because earlier I was absolutely losing my mind with laughter. I'm not even joking here. But that brings me to this episode's, humor. Sorry about that. My voice is a little bit, it's a little bit coarse now because of the, I'm not even lying to you. I was laughing pretty hard. But the lesson plan is comedy, humor, the big laughing of, laughing. Stuff that's funny. Now, why would I talk about something like that when pretty much everything on my channel has been so serious that, yeah, so, because God made it so that way we all can laugh. Now, what each person laughs at is absolutely, it could be absolutely something different, or you could be somebody like me, where I could laugh at some of the most oddly ridiculous things possible. Take for example, I remember I was it had me cracking up pretty badly. Like it took a long time to get like the composure needed to It took a long time to get the composure needed to just be able to speak. It was just such like a perfectly timed thing too, on top of that. It kind of went like this. I'm walking, and one of the thoughts that processes in my mind is, I've got good boots, there's no way I could ever possibly slip. At that exact moment, I almost slipped on some ice. And you know, some of the funny moments are just, it's hard to describe other than absolutely hilarious. But why is this the point of today's lesson? Simple. Even God has a sense of humor. And when God decides to crack a joke, it's literally not something that you could actually resist laughing at. Why? Because God is God. That's one. And two, God is really good at perfectly timed humor. Like, to like an insane degree. You could say to a comedic degree. Now, the humor that God has does not rely on making fun of someone. Nay, unless it's like, there's somebody like really arrogant and they're just like, oh sure, nothing can happen, nothing will ever happen. Fast forward like a little bit later, and next thing you know, their arrogance was their downfall, pretty much. But like, it's the exact thing that they took pride in. That was the thing that ended up messing up. Take, for example, and this is a tragedy, but if you think about it, there's some humor in there. Because of the simple fact of this. There was a news article about the Titanic that pretty much said, not even God can sink this. So what did God do? He sunk it. Like, say you're cleaning something, right? And then all of a sudden, you just have like a radio playing in the background, and then all of a sudden you hear working at the car wash. Or you're playing a game, and then you're like, there's no way I could possibly lose. Followed immediately by you just going through pretty much a montage of absolute just death. Like pretty much almost right out of the gate every single time. Like that. Or that. Or let's say somebody is super arrogant and they're just like, there's no way I could ever possibly fail. Followed immediately by them failing in such a degree where like they just end up in last place. But God made it so that way we all laugh at something. Everybody laughs at something. For me, it's pretty much it's like pretty cut and dry. For the most part. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I laugh at is just... I don't know. I end up laughing at some of the weirdest things. Like, I was laughing at the word baked potato. Baked potato. Just the word alone was enough to make me laugh. Just the word alone. So, God's okay with laughter. In fact, God wouldn't have made it so that way we could laugh if He wasn't okay with laughter. I mean, think of it like this. He designed the ostrich for just the purpose alone. For it to just be laughed at. That's pretty much the purpose of the ostrich. I mean, think about it. It is honestly one of the dumbest birds I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not even messing with you there. It is quite honestly. I mean, think of it like this. It's not nurturing. It's one of those animals that it lays its eggs and just leaves it out there. Just leaves it on the ground, unprotected, not even in a tree. And that thing's like man-sized. If you've ever seen an ostrich run, you will understand what I mean by it's a really, really doofy bird. Like, there's no way that's unintentional. No. Every bit of the weirdness about it is intentional. I mean, that thing is strong enough to knock out and the crazy thing about it is it's strong enough to knock out a lion with a single kick. A single kick from an ostrich can knock a lion unconscious. Why? Why indeed? I don't know. Trust me. But, by gosh, that's a perfect example of God having a good sense of humor. In fact, think about it. While God was walking among us, people often enjoyed it, being around him. He got invited to a wedding. Now, you don't invite a boring, pain to be around person to a wedding. No, you usually would invite somebody that's pretty fun to be around to be at a wedding because you want to celebrate. Weddings are a time of celebration and joy. And then later on, afterwards, then consummation. So, wait, did I use the right word? Consummate. Yeah, no, I used the right word. All right, so now let's look at some of the other things that people laugh at. Sometimes people laugh at somebody just getting pretty badly injured. Like say I mean, we had a show that was we have shows that's dedicated just to make people laugh. And movies. We are, in a way, we're made to enjoy things and laugh. I mean, we got comedians, people that's only job is to crack jokes, act foolish, and make everyone laugh. I mean, back in the day, they would have been called fools. But even then, fools were one of the most... I mean, they weren't really respected, but they were... I mean, we have clowns. Personally, I don't like clowns. I don't know. That's a no for me. That's a... I'm not a big fan of clowns. In fact, I've never been a fan of clowns. I don't. There's just something about the way that they look. I don't like it. I mean, speaking of funny things, though. I mean, these crabs right here, I assume they're crabs. And not ponchos given sentience. And I mean, these crabs. I'm jumping all over. But the crabs in this game, they just kind of like, they have that kind of face that makes them go like, map, 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 map. But yeah, back to what I was saying before. God has a really good sense of humor. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have made us to be the kind of beings that really enjoy laughter as much as we do. And yeah, there's some really, really grumpy people out there that just like, they're just not the type to laugh. Or they seem like they're not the type to laugh. Maybe what they find to be absolutely funny is something different than what you find to be funny. Oh, hey, checkpoint. Cool. So, another... Like some of the things I'll laugh at. Take for example, I'm not a good person to go for humor, because whenever I crack a joke, it's more along the lines of, it's very situational based. Like say for example, I'm trying to crack a joke, and let's say I'm holding a steak. I could pretty much dramatically say with a pretty serious face, which is what'll make it funny. Looks like it's time to raise the stakes. Before I immediately just chuck it into the frying pan. Now, a lot of the jokes that I have said on this channel, I'm about 90% sure it is absolutely when I say sword, I mean absolutely sword, over the heads of a grand amount of people. Why? I don't know. But more often than not, the jokes that I crack, they kinda... Like, they don't jump over people's heads. They soar. Maybe I'm bad at telling jokes. And I'll probably have to agree with you on that. Well, let's see. There's some people out there that'll laugh at, like take for example an infant. I've seen infants just cracking up. At about nothing. And there's people out there like that. Like me, one of my things is whenever I'm really nervous for some reason, I don't know why, I was made with this, but hey, it's a thing. But whenever I'm nervous, I have a tendency to laugh. As if I'm built with this psychological mentality of just laugh and it'll go away. Laugh away the embarrassment. I don't know why that's a thing, but it's a thing. And I'm one of those people that despite, being very reasonably manly looking, I don't look feminine at all. I have the broad shoulders, what some would call the dad gut, meaning I'm a bit of a chubby guy, so. And I've got this deep voice, which you honestly don't expect out of someone my size, and I've seen it happen quite a few times where I address somebody and then they're just kind of stunned for a little bit because, they expect me to have, I don't know, I guess a Pillsbury Doughboy's voice. I don't know. But what is the point of this? The point of this is such. This is an episode about humor, so I'm trying to cover all the bases of humor, but humor is a little more complicated than you'd think. And the reason why it's so complicated is this. Not everybody laughs at the same thing. Even though a lot of people will laugh at similar things. Take for example, me. I'm the kind of guy that could laugh at the word potato for 3 hours, for up to 3 hours, laughing at the word baked potato. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. But Everyone's different when it comes to humor. And that's the cool thing, because God's designed us all differently. To enjoy humor. To be able to laugh. Even if you're having a bad day, that minute you start laughing, like it doesn't feel as bad. Now, how cool is that? Well, I've run out of time in this episode. I hope some of you got a good chuckle out of it. I literally exerted as much possible force as I could to create a nice, humorous environment. Thank you all for watching. Glory be to God. Glory be to God in the highest. And blessings be upon you all. This is the Silver Watchman, signing out.